Hi, I'm Heather Bartlett. I'm with the Cow Creek Umpqua Tribe. I'm their environmental specialist, and I am Oregon's representative for our talk. Today I'll be presenting Kelly. So here is his bio. In 2008, Kelly served in the Indian Health Service Sanitation Facilities Construction Program, planning, designing, and constructing water supply and wastewater systems serving Indian communities. He began working with the Bureau of Reclamation in the Montana area office as a Native American Affairs coordinator in 2007. He worked with 6 of the 7 Montana tribes on water resource issues such as rural water system construction projects, dam rehabilitation and improvements, water rights settlements, stream rehabilitation, basin studies, and assisting tribes with a variety of water resource projects through the Native American Affairs Technical Assistance Program. And in 2011, he transferred to the Washington office as a policy analyst in the Native American and International Affairs Office, where he serves as a Native American Affairs advisor, working on a variety of issues, including legislative initiatives. There was a lot of big words in that bio, and when I'm nervous, yeah. Thank you.
You did well, Heather. Thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody. Thank you for the invitation to visit with you and to talk a little bit about the Reclamation program. My name is Kelly Tittenser. I'm with the Native American Affairs Program at the Bureau of Reclamation. And so I'd also like to acknowledge the tribal leaders and elders who are participating in the summit and acknowledge the valuable time that they've taken out to be a part of this. And thank you for your interest and your service. I'll very briefly describe the Reclamation program, what Reclamation is and what their mission is. And then I'll talk about 2 funding opportunities that Reclamation has that are available for American Indian and Alaska Native entities. Next slide, please. Bureau of Reclamation was initiated in 1902, and the original purpose of Reclamation was to develop what they called Reclaim the West. And the primary purpose was to establish irrigation systems and water projects that would support agricultural development. Over the years, of course, the purposes and the objectives that Reclamation has been given have changed. Power generation is a very large component. Environmental protection, water supply for cities and towns, flood control, recreation, and of course, most recently, negotiating and implementing Indian water rights settlements. Next slide, please. The Native American Affairs Program started in the early 1990s as Reclamation shifted more of its emphasis and more of its resources over to Native American issues. One thing I forgot to mention is that Reclamation's program is limited to what's called the 17 Western states. The eastern boundary of the 17 Western states would be the eastern boundaries of North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas, and all the way to the Pacific Ocean. So you'll generally see large projects such as Hoover Dam, Shasta, Grand Coulee, and a myriad of other large water projects are restricted to those states. The Native American Affairs Program was started in the 1990s, and the purpose was to make benefits of the Reclamation programs available to tribes. Reclamation is a water resource management organization, tremendous amount of expertise and resources that are available to tribes. And the issues that the water resource issues that are of interest to tribes are also the same interests that are of interest to everybody else. And so making those resources available to tribes is a good thing. And then the second, of course, is to support fulfilling the federal responsibility to Indian trusts. Next slide, please. I'm going to move fairly fast through the slides, and there's more information in the slides than I'll cover in my talk. So I would recommend and encourage you to download the slides and read through them for more information, particularly the contact information that I'll provide here in a few minutes. Native American Affairs. Well, first of all, I need to also outline that Reclamation is organized into 5 regions. The Pacific Northwest region, which includes Washington, Oregon, and Idaho. California region, which is California and most of Nevada. The Lower Colorado region includes parts of California and Arizona. Upper Colorado, which includes Wyoming, Utah, Colorado, and New Mexico and Texas. And then what's called the Missouri Basin region, which includes Montana, the Dakotas, and Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. And we have Native American Affairs program managers that are located in each one of those, and I have contact information on a later slide. The program activities generally it's kind of a policy shop to a certain degree, providing guidance and instruction and policy guidance to reclamation leadership and reclamation staff on Native American issues. We also support water rights settlement teams for reclamation and other related activities, both implementation and negotiation of water rights claims. We also have the part that I'll be talking about mainly today is the technical assistance to tribes, which we'll go through now. Okay, next slide, please. The technical assistance program is intended to increase opportunities for tribes to develop, manage, and protect their water and related resources, primarily provided through funding that's made available to tribes. And the funds can be used in a variety of ways. They can be grant agreements or cooperative agreements. They can also be 638 agreements. The funding can also be used to pay for reclamation staff to provide services, and also fund tribal entities in performing projects. From time to time, we also collaborate with other agencies to partner with other agencies and tribes to carry out projects and activities. Next slide, please. There are a variety of ways of doing it. The most, probably the most useful is a posting of a notice of funding opportunity in grants.gov every year. This is limited to federally recognized tribes and tribal organizations in the 17 Western states for the same purposes. Up until this year, the funding limitation has been $200,000 per award. Given the recent president's budgets proposals, assuming that those are approved by Congress, appropriated by Congress, that per applicant limit may change. Typically 5 to 10 or 15 projects a year. The 2022 proposals have already been accepted, and we're awaiting appropriation of funds before we announce awards. We expect that the 2023 notice of funding availability will be published in grants.gov sometime in June or July. And the closing date has already been established as October 20th. So next slide, please. These are some examples of eligible projects. And as you'll see, the sideboards on the kinds of projects that can be funded is quite broad. Assessment, studies, plans, for example, water resource management plans, drought response plans, needs assessments, groundwater assessments, all kinds of things, training for tribes. We also fund minor repair and rehab and replacement, some brick and mortar type projects that are intended to benefit physical facilities, physical infrastructure. And I won't go through the whole list. go to the next slide, please. There are also some projects that are ineligible. You'll note at the top, feasibility studies. In reclamation law, feasibility studies have to be, or a particular kind of study, and are required to be approved by Congress. So we're not able to do feasibility studies. These are project-based. This is project-based funding, so it'll have a beginning and an end date, a scope that will have some completion parameters around it. Generally try to keep it within 2 years. You'll also notice things in here like activities that generate analysis that have the potential to compromise any study or activities related to a water right negotiation or litigation. We have a separate effort that supports the negotiation and implementation of water rights. And so if that's something of interest, then please contact us. We can work with you on that. Okay, next slide, please. The evaluation criteria for these types of projects are pretty broad, pretty general. Of course, the project need and the project benefit is another criteria, project implementation. And then we always leave room for alignment with administration and Department of Interior priorities. And this changes given the current administration. And we make adjustments in the NOFO, notice of funding availability for those things. Next slide, please. These are the contacts for each of the regions. I believe for this group, the Columbia Pacific Basin region, that would be Washington, Oregon, and Idaho. Melinda Hernandez-Burke is our program manager. For those of you, if you know of anyone or are interested in programs, tribes in other parts of the country, the California Great Basin, Lower Colorado, Upper Colorado, and Missouri Basin contacts are also listed. Next slide, please. So that's it for the technical assistance program. Next slide, please. Next, I'm going to talk about what's known as the WaterSmart program. Some of you may be familiar with this. This is a 100% grant program in reclamation. And there are some differences that I'll point out just in general. The first is the WaterSmart program is available to all kinds of entities. It's not limited to tribes. The technical assistance program, Native American Affairs Technical Assistance Program, is limited to federally recognized tribes. The WaterSmart program is available to other entities, water districts, irrigation districts, cities, other types of water resource management entities. The second thing is that the Native American Affairs Technical Assistance Program does not have a cost share requirement. The WaterSmart programs do have a cost share, and you'll see that in some of the information I'll show you in just a minute. The third is that the WaterSmart program was originally limited to the 17 Western states. A few years ago, Congress directed Reclamation to extend eligible recipients into Alaska, Hawaii, territories, and possessions of the United States. So again, the same available eligible recipients in the lower 48 is in Alaska and Hawaii. Okay, next slide. And next slide. The WaterSmart program is very broad and has benefited from the bilateral infrastructure legislation. We'll go through that in just a minute, but as you can see from the 6 tabs here, there are, and I'm not going to go through these in detail. I would just encourage you to download the slides or go to the website that I'll show you here in a minute and see which ones may be of interest to you. So basin studies, Title 16, WaterSmart grants, water conservation, drought response, and cooperative watershed management program. Next slide, please. The contact for WaterSmart is Nikki McCann, and her contact information is here. Again, it'll be in the package, and I would recommend that you download it and look at the information as well as contact Nikki if you have questions. Next slide, please. The next several slides provide more information on each one of those WaterSmart programs. And so rather than go through each one of them individually, I'll just indicate that they are available and recommend that you read through the ones that may be of interest to you. And go to the website or to visit with Nikki to get more information. So we have environmental focused programs. Next slide, please. WaterSmart grants. I'll point out a couple of things. Number one, down in the lower part of that, the funding groups, typically divided up into groups up to a certain limit. Funding group 2 up to a limit, and then the non-federal cost share 50% or greater. You'll see that's fairly common in the WaterSmart grants. Next slide, please. So each one of these slides will give a brief description of the different kinds of grants. There will be a separate posting of a notice of funding availability in grants.gov for these. And I'll show you a slide here in a minute that will give you more information. Next slide, please. Drought response, of course, in the Western United States, that's been a very popular and necessary program over the last few years, as you're well aware. Next slide, please. This is too small for me to read, so I'll leave it to people with much better eyes, and too much information here for me to read to you. So I would again commend the slide deck to you. You'll notice that many of these notice of funding availabilities are posted, and they closing, for example, the drought contingency planning closes on April 14th of 2022, and you'll notice that there are several others that are closing in March and April further down the list. Next slide, please. So the bipartisan infrastructure law funding, the WaterSmart program was greatly benefited from this funding. And this slide illustrates how some of that funding has been distributed. So for example, the WaterSmart grants, they're slated to get $400 million over the next 5 years, over the next 5 years. The spend plan for 2022 is $160 million. And of course, the activities are water conservation and efficiency, renewable energy, natural and nature-based features. So the funding increase under BIL is substantial and will be in place for the next 5 years. Next slide, please. So there's the link for the WaterSmart program where you can gain more information. Next slide, please. Next slide. Next slide. Okay, this is the part that I think might be of interest for those who are interested in applying for grants under any of the WaterSmart or the Native American Affairs grants. Next slide, please. We have listed here some tips that we have found would be helpful and beneficial for grant writers and others who are submitting applications. I will not go through these in detail in the interest of time. Next slide, please. But we have several lists here. Reading the NOFO definitely is an important thing, responding to the NOFO. Please go to the next slide. And next slide. The NOFO has an outline for the application, and we found that that's a really good roadmap to use in preparing applications. Just follow the format that's outlined in the NOFO and answer all the questions in the application criteria. Next slide, please. And next slide, please. It's really important in these things to tie the budget to the scope, what you want to do, and illustrate how the money will be spent and the results of that, of your spend plan, and be clear about that and show the cause and effect throughout your application. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Okay, I'm going to stop there. We still have a couple of minutes left, and open it up for any questions that might be there.
So just a reminder, you can type your questions into the chat box, or you can raise your hand and ask it verbally. We do have a few minutes remaining.
I see Rick, to everyone, suggest reading Cadillac Desert. Yeah, I would commend Cadillac Desert as well. And thank you for posting, James, the Water Smart links. Okay,
I don't.
very good. Thank you very much. I appreciate the time and the opportunity to visit with you. I'm sorry we didn't have time to do this in a little more detail, but hopefully the information that's included in the slide deck will be helpful and be a good guide for you in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Kelly. We appreciate it.